Hi there, and welcome back to the HQ. Today, we are going to be reacting to Defunctland, the history of Disney's worst attraction ever, Superstar Limo. Now, this already sounds like it's going to be a disaster, because, you know, I don't know, like, if it is what is considered the worst attraction, I don't know the whole history of Disneyland, but if this is the worst attraction, and I've seen some pretty bad attractions at Disneyland, like, this is gonna be pretty nutty. This is gonna be, how bad does it have to be considered the worst ever attraction? I mean, I guess we're gonna find out. So, let's jump in and see just how bad is Superstar Limo.
So, it's the lighting. It's getting the lighting in the video just balance.
I think it's fantastic.
Mr. Eisner?
Hi, Michael.
Oh,
certainly.
lovely.
Mr. Eisner.
Starting
sorry to
right
disturb
off
you,
with
but I'm
Eisner.
delivering to you Mr. Barry Boswick and Mr. Richard Kind. If you'll just sign for them.
Really?
Yeah, right on there. Thank you very much.
This is how we're starting this off.
Oh,
Hey, Michael.
Richard.
Hi, Michael.
Barry. So?
Yeah, we were told to meet the big
Huh?
cheese at the Disneyland
Oh.
Resort.
It's the big cheese. I'm not the big. I wish
Yeah.
I was the big cheese. This is
Really?
the big cheese.
Okay.
Oh, hiya, fellas. Gee,
God.
I've been looking for you all day.
Right.
Well, I
God.
want to give you a personal tour of Disney's California.
Real talk, they could not make me hate Mickey Mouse. Mickey Mouse is just too endearing. Like, I could not hate Mickey Mouse. Plus, I'm a Kingdom Hearts fan. And seeing Mickey Mouse go hard in Kingdom Hearts is always funny. And I hope we see more. I hope we get some news for Kingdom Hearts 4 soon. I really hope so. I really want some news for Kingdom Hearts 4, please.
Adventure. Ooh, what do you say we start with a ride on California Screamin'?
So, Mickey, it's just you and me, and I love that ride, and I want to go on it with you.
Going riding with Mickey.
boss.
Okay, boss. Hey, you know, Mickey, I think this is the beginning of a beautiful theme park.
You betcha.
It wasn't. And now the story of a
It
company in
wasn't.
panic, and the one CEO who just couldn't seem to catch a break.
Oh. Poor Michael Eisner.
It is
Oh.
Defunctland.
That was the set for the ride? Oh, that looks tacky as hell.
On July 17th, 1955, Disneyland opened its gates to the public.
Yeah,
And
for
along
real,
with
like,
elaborate theming,
Disney
it had
is
an
a really
expansive,
shitty company,
magical
but I
parking lot.
could not hate
Due
Mickey
to its
Mouse.
placement in Anaheim, Disneyland's land was far from sprawling. This made the parking lot prime real estate for any kind of expansion, including a potential second gate. While a
Oh.
variety of concepts for a second park were proposed over the years, it wouldn't be until 1982 that the Walt Disney Company would seriously begin to consider it. On
Okay,
October 1st
so
of that
it's like
year,
the first
Epcot Center in
expansion to
Orlando, Florida's
Disneyland?
Walt Disney World opened. This created the Walt Disney World Resort as it is known today, and
Oh.
it made a multi-day vacation to the resort necessary if guests were going to explore all of the offerings. 2 years later in 1984, it was becoming increasingly clear that, despite Epcot's success, Disney as a company was not doing well. A string of box office failures from their studio and big budget projects for the parks had brought Disney to the lowest point in the company's history,
Oh,
and many
wow.
feared a takeover. In a
Wha-
bold move by
ooh.
the company,
There was
then CEO
actually
and
a
President
point-
Ron Miller was ousted.
Oh, there was actually a point in Disney's history where they were potentially threatened with a takeover. Also, yeah, I'm pretty sure thinking about it, I'm pretty sure Michael Eisner is like the guys whose face was the inspiration for it, because I'm pretty sure Shrek was one of the first movies made by DreamWorks after it was founded in spite of Disney and Michael Eisner. So Michael Eisner being the guy whose face inspired Lord Farquaad, that would certainly track.
And Michael Eisner was brought in as the company's new
Oh
CEO.
yeah,
Eisner had big
I can
plans for
see
the
it.
company.
I
The
can
most
very
notable of
much
which were
see
to
it.
turn the company's failing studios around, make the existing Disney parks more appealing to older audiences, expand internationally.
I
with
think
the
my
addition of a
favorite
European
Mickey
park,
is probably
and finally
either
make Anaheim a
KH2
multi-day
Mickey
resort
or
with the addition-
KH3 Mickey. Like KH2 Mickey just showing up, just did somebody say a door to darkness? God, I can't do a Mickey Mouse voice when I'm partially sick. I can't. But Mickey just rocking up in the hood, or Mickey in KH3 just busting out the Ultima against Xehanort. Oh my god, if Xehanort didn't counter with Stopsa, that would have gone nutty. Also funny too how Donald Duck, as far as we know, is canonically the strongest mage in Square history. Because I don't know any other single mage or magic wielder who is not Bahamut who used Zeta Flare. The fact that the fact that Donald busts out Zeta Flare like that is nutty, dude.
Of a second gate. In 1987, the Walt Disney Company acquired the Rather Corporation. Decades earlier, in the mid-1950s, Walt Disney had asked oil tycoon and television producer Jack Rather to build the Disneyland Hotel, since Disney lacked the funds, having spent most of his money constructing Disneyland. Since then, and up until Disney's acquisition in 1987, the Rather Corporation had owned the Disneyland Hotel and property near the theme park. The obvious next step after obtaining the necessary assets was to finally build a second theme park in the Disneyland Resort, and it might have been that simple, had Eisner not gotten distracted.
Oh. He got distracted now?
Apart from the Disneyland Hotel,
it was
the
a
Rather
simple
Corporation
idea.
also owned the RMS Queen Mary, a retired ocean liner that was permanently docked in Long Beach, California.
You know,
after Disney acquired the
I would
Rather
not be surprised if Sora is down on his luck like that.
Transforming the Queen Mary and surrounding land into a new resort called Port Disney. Port Disney was to feature hotels, a cruise ship dock, and an all-new ocean-themed amusement park called Disney Sea. Eisner pitted the cities of Anaheim and Long Beach against one another, trying to decide whether to build Disney
What does this
Sea
have
as the
to do
second
with
gate to the
Superstar
Disneyland
Limo?
Resort, or build it in Long Beach.
Like,
within
I
Port
get
Disney.
preamble,
The announcement was
but,
made in January of 1990, and Anaheim and Long
God,
Beach
that
both
looks
worked with Disney in order to bring the new
genuinely.
theme park to their
I
city.
like the sketches.
However, the citizens
I love these designs, like these overall like sketch designs, but they are so unrealistic. It's like an actual park design. They would not happen.
of both cities were not thrilled with the Disney expansion, citing the issues the residential neighborhoods of Anaheim already faced due to the existing park. This, along with a variety of other
I could
legal,
not
logistical,
imagine
and
living
budgetary
close to
issues
Disneyland
caused
like
Eisner
that.
to announce
Like,
in late
real estate
1991 that
prices
plans for Port Disney and Disney Sea had
being
been
that
scrapped
high
in favor
already.
of an alternative idea that the Imagineers had been drafting.
And then having to
Due
deal with
the
the fireworks
popularity of
shows.
Florida's Epcot, Eisner and the Imagineers believed that a West Coast version of the park was the best idea for Disneyland's second gate. The park would have been almost identical to Epcot, with a few notable changes, such as a larger spaceship Earth, improved future world attractions, and a much different world showcase, including a steel dragon coaster in the Asia Pavilion and a boat cruise around the entire world. Westcott was announced at the same time as the cancellation of Port Disney and Disney Sea in 1991. 1 year later, Euro Disneyland would open, which, for a variety of reasons that are too long to discuss here, failed horribly. The budget for the parks division was cut dramatically, and as ideas for Westcott grew, it became clear that the company could not afford such an expansion.
Fails
but
that
Eisner
hard?
did not give up on the Disneyland Resort, and despite the issues, went forward with his plans for a second park. Eisner had a simple technique that he often used when he decided on new
big
projects.
fails.
The technique
Let's
is known
continue
as
anyway.
jealousy. Whenever Eisner saw
Oh.
another company doing something successfully,
Jealousy?
he decided that Disney would do the same thing. Moreover, he would take the idea and do basically the same thing in basically the same place. For instance, after seeing the success of the amusement park zoo
That is
hybrid
so
Busch Gardens
petty.
Tampa in the early 90s, he greenlit Disney's Animal Kingdom. The park was just over an hour from Busch Gardens. After
Oh, that is so petty. The king of pettiness over here.
seeing the success of the Church Street Station nightclubs in Orlando, Florida, Eisner greenlit his own nightclubs in Pleasure Island at the Disney Village Marketplace. Pleasure Island was about half an hour from Church Street Station. So when Westcott was canceled and Disney returned to the drawing board, it wouldn't be long until Eisner was presented with a
This
new
motherfucker
idea.
getting
Since
so
the Disneyland
petty.
Resort at the time provided such a short visit to vacationers, many of the guests would go explore the other tourist offerings of California after their trip. Disneyland President Paul Pressler recognized
naturally.
this and pitched an idea to Eisner. If Disney could provide all the sights and attractions of the state of California within the Disneyland Resort, then guests would have no reason to leave and spend their money elsewhere. This concept would develop into the plans for California Adventure, a California-themed theme park to be located in the already California-themed California.
So, somebody wants to go and see the Golden Gate Bridge, so you're just going to put a replica of the Golden Gate Bridge in your California-based California theme park? I can't argue with the logic. I can't argue with the logic. Californiaception indeed. Oh my god. That is probably one of the dumbest ideas I've ever heard of.
Concept art for the park was released in 1996, a year after Westcott was canceled. The release stated that California Adventure would feature everything from soaring above Yosemite Valley to the glitz and glamour of Hollywood movie making. The original concept art from the park had a sense of serenity, and it seemed to be designed as an intimate, romantic tribute to California. In the Hollywood
Hey there,
section of the
Varen,
park,
welcome
there was to
back.
be a recreation of the theme building, the observation deck, and former restaurant at the Los Angeles International Airport, which was being renovated by Walt Disney Imagineering around the time that California Adventure was in development. This
So,
was to be the show building to one of California Adventure's signature attractions,
are you gonna-
Superstar Limo, a
Oh.
high-speed dark ride that would take guests on a
We're
wild
finally
paparazzi
there.
chase through Hollywood. As guests boarded the attraction, they would be greeted by Michael Eisner himself. Eisner would tell guests that they had to get to the big premiere at Grauman's Chinese Theater as soon as possible to sign a contract for their next film. But he warned guests that the paparazzi were all over town, and if they were caught doing anything to ruin their image,
Oh, that is
then
a
Eisner would have to
horrendous
cancel the deal.
caricature.
The limo driver would then floor it in an attempt to get guests to the movie premiere on time. According to Disney historian Jim Hill, the ride system would have been a combination of a traditional dark ride and a family-friendly roller coaster. The ride would have also included a
That
variety
doesn't
of
sound
jokes
so
and
bad.
gags. For instance, guests would fly past the famous Tail of the Pup hot dog stand with a large man in rhinestones creating sounds of flatulence. But as guests turned the corner, it would become clear that this was actually Elvis Presley squirting mustard onto a hot dog. The ride
Okay,
ended with
I mean-
guests reaching the Chinese theater.
I mean, that sounds
only to have
valid.
Eisner tell them that he would have to cancel the contract because they had been caught by the paparazzi. Then, a picture taken of guests while on
Yeah,
the ride would
that's
be
a-
shown, cropped into a tabloid reporting on their limo chase.
I mean that's a clever way to get the mid-ride photo in. It's like, oh, you got paparazzi taken up of you. Also, hey Cyanoid, welcome to the chat. Yeah, that is a clever way to get like your post-ride photo of it's like, oh, you got caught by the tabloids. Here's the photo proof. That's a very clever way of doing that.
After this, guests would exit and walk the red carpet into the Chinese theater, which was the gift shop and exit to the attraction, where fake Oscars, on-ride photos, and t-shirts would have been sold. The original concept of Superstar Limo was nothing groundbreaking, but it seemed
Like,
that it would have been a
yeah,
fun dark ride
it
that
sounds
would have fit
like it looks
perfectly in
like
the
a-
Hollywood section
it
of the
sounds
park.
like a fun
However,
ride.
The mid-90s version of the attraction would not be the one that guests experienced when the park opened.
Oh.
And this time, it wasn't Eisner's fault. In August of 1997,
Oh. Okay.
in Paris, France, Diana, Princess of Wales, was killed in a limo accident. Her driver was supposedly fleeing from paparazzi when he lost control of the wheel.
Okay, I could see why they had to change the ride then. I could see why they had to change the ride. Yeah, that is very unfortunate. That is incredibly unfortunate. Holy
The
shit.
tragedy captured the attention of the entire world, who grieved the death of the princess and the other passengers. As for Eisner and his team, they now had a big problem. Superstar Limo could no longer be a high-speed paparazzi
Oh,
chase,
God.
because it would now seem that it was some sort of twisted reference to the tragedy. The Imagineers scrambled, briefly considering cloning a Disney MGM attraction to the Anaheim park.
How
Top
bad
contenders
of
were the Great
luck
Movie Ride,
do you
the
have
Twilight
to
Zone Tower of
have
Terror, or Rock and Roller Coaster, which at
To
the time
have
was
your
still in
whole
development.
ride
Of
concept
these,
immediately put on hold like that because something a tragedy extremely similar to your ride concept happens and you have no control over it. How does that happen?
The Tower of Terror was probably considered to be the top contender, as Eisner was heavily pushing for the idea of a ride-hotel hybrid. On top of most everyone besides him thinking that this was a bad idea that logistically would be problematic, if not impossible, it was
Yeah,
also
I
clear
can't
that the budget
imagine the
for California
logistics
Adventure would not allow
of
for this, or
having a
any of the other
ride
potential
that goes
attractions,
through
which
a
meant the Hollywood
functioning
section of the
hotel.
park would not have a ride on opening day. Or would it? Forced,
Oh my
whether
God,
by
that's
situation or
right,
executives, to write a
Varen.
treatment
The
for an
deleted
acceptable version
scene
of Superstar
from
Limo.
Lilo
The
and
Imagineers had a few
Stitch
solutions. One,
because of
remove most of the references
9/11.
to paparazzi. Two, remove any high-speed element by having the limos inch forward through the show building. And three, add more setting-specific jokes and gags. The idea wasn't good, and the Imagineers considered Superstar Limo to be dead.
Yeah, that
Unfortunately,
sounds
if their
awful.
job was to please the boss, they had done it a little too well. Eisner, who
Oh.
had been in the entertainment industry for decades, adored the inside jokes and Hollywood gags. He loved them so much that he greenlit the new, terrible version of the attraction.
Of
Imagineering,
course.
most likely baffled at what they now had to do, did their best to make
Why
the
did they
attraction work.
pitch such
This
a bad
included scrapping
joke?
the Chinese theater gift shop, and adding the theater as a show scene in the ride in order to fill time. After budgets were slashed even more, the theme-building exterior was scrapped in favor of a cartoonish cutout
That
look.
looks
This art
so
style was also used
tacky.
within the
Oh
ride
my
itself.
God.
The only three-dimensional animated figures would be that of celebrities. But due to the lack of budget, these would have to be celebrities whose likenesses were cheap or stars that the Walt Disney Company already had contracts with. Also,
Of course.
these were not animatronics, but barely animated figures with minimal, unconvincing movement. At some point,
Yeah, that
Eisner realized
tracks.
that the ride was going to be bad,
Like,
so he made a few quick
certain-
changes
oh,
to save
he
face.
only just
First, he removed
realized.
the reference to DreamWorks animation that read Dream Jerks Animation, which referenced the ongoing feud between former president of Walt Disney Studios, Jeffrey Katzenberg, who now worked for DreamWorks, and Eisner.
Yeah, it makes a lot more sense that Lord Farquaad is like based off of Michael Eisner. It makes a lot more sense now that I think about it.
Also, Eisner asked Imagineering to remove him from the ride, and the on-ride footage was replaced with a sleazy Hollywood agent barking orders at guests, proving that Superstar Limo foreshadowed more than one catastrophe. The retooled ride opened with California Adventure on February 8th, 2001, so was it as bad as they thought it would be?
Alucard.
Yes.
Dream jerks.
Yes, it
Just
was.
a wet dream. Oh my God. Fuck off with that.
Here and around
Oh my
Hollywood
God.
Boulevard, there's lots of fun and interesting places to eat and shop, all geared to bring out the Hollywood in everyone. And if you've ever wanted to be a star, then you have to ride Superstar Limo.
Oh God. Are we about to experience how bad the ride
cartoon
is?
cutout exterior of Superstar Limo features a variety of landmarks from Los Angeles,
That looks
such as
awful.
Union Station,
Jesus
City Hall,
Christ.
and the Beverly Hills Hotel. One section features the world's shortest railway, Los Angeles' Angel's Flight. The railway, which was constructed in 1901, had recently reopened, but an accident resulted in the death of a passenger on February 1st, 2001, exactly 1 week before California Adventure and Superstar Limo would open. However,
Oh.
the prominent reference on the queue's exterior would not be removed. Another
Well,
interesting feature was the
shoot.
flower bed that was decorated to look like a pool. After making their way into the queue, guests would find themselves in the baggage claim area in the LAX airport. The inside jokes to California and the entertainment industry would begin with a female announcer giving instructions to arriving passengers.
The white zone is for loading and unloading only. No schmoozing.
Further into the queue, guests would encounter television screens playing an entertainment news report featuring a horrifying puppet version of the late Joan Rivers. Rivers would describe Hollywood's next biggest star, who
Oh,
was set
God.
to arrive at LAX that day.
That
the
is-
star turns out to be the guest entering the ride.
What-
In this queue
what
area,
is these
there were more
fucking
cartoon cutouts
FNAF
that helped
quality
foreshadow what a terrible
animatronics?
experience guests were about to have.
This looks
One example of
so
this was a
bad.
baggage carousel with packaged Oscars. After guests winded their way through the queue, they would approach the ground transportation section of the airport
Bruh.
and board their limo. A
This looks-
sparkly, purple, cartoonish
Oh, God.
limo. A cast member guides them into their cars and
This
tells them
looks
to enjoy
so
their
bad.
premiere. Guests are
I'm
then
glad
sent on their
somebody
way into their
recorded
soon-to-be
this.
recurring nightmare.
I'm
An
glad it's
announcer
recorded.
tells them to keep their hands, feet, and egos in the limo at all times.
That's bad.
Ah. The limo enters a dark tunnel, and the guest agent appears on the screen attached to the ride's vehicle.
Oh,
Despite
that's
being
awful.
a creepy, gross puppet, this turned out to be the most realistic part of the ride.
Now, don't be late, babe.
The first showroom is Beverly Hills, and Regis Philbin pops out of the door, fanning
God.
himself with money. Next up, Melanie Griffith with Antonio Banderas. Then immediately following, Cindy Crawford. And this is just the beginning. The next show
God,
scene
no.
is the Sunset Strip.
It's
Here,
just
guests get to see
beginning?
Tim Allen and Jackie Chan. After this, guests enter a second tunnel and are reminded by their agent to not be late. The third show scene is Bel Air, where guests can see Drew Carey with a handful of star maps. Guests also run into sponsors trying to get them to sign advertising
God,
deals.
this looks
A third
so
tunnel
bad.
features another reminder from their agent before the Malibu show scene. Here, guests encounter Cher,
Genuinely
standing in the corner
so
of the scene as if she
bad.
doesn't want to be there. The limo
Ugh.
then enters the studio lots, where guests encounter paparazzi, screenwriters, and production assistants, all represented through cheap cutouts. After this, guests arrive for their
A
premiere,
bunch of
where
cheap
none other than
cutouts.
Whoopi Goldberg greets them. Guests are shown an on-ride photo of themselves before entering a final tunnel, where their agent tells them that they are a superstar. And that was Superstar Limo.
That was awful. That is terrible.
So now, everybody, I thought we'd go over to Superstar
Sometime in
Limo.
2001.
Well, because I'm on it.
That's right, because you're on it here at California Adventures, right next to Disneyland.
Exactly,
This-
located right.
This ride is awful.
The picture of me at Superstar Limo, it looks exactly like you. You just can't believe it.
Really? It's gonna freak
It's like a
us out?
photograph.
All right.
Oh, here we go.
Here we go.
God,
Now, this
imagine
is
being the
scary test ride.
celebrity
No. This is just
on
like a
this
scenic-
show.
As if you were new in Hollywood and you want to become a superstar.
Imagine.
Right in.
Yeah.
Come on, my darling, let's take a ride.
Oh my god. You know this is early 2000s because they have fucking they have Smash Mouth over here playing. Oh my god.
There's Regis Philbin. And that's my Give it some vivacious Melanie Griffith and dashing Antonio Banderas. Wow. And there's Hollywood beauty Cindy Crawford.
Jesus.
All right.
Cindy Crawford?
Hold your sides, everyone. It's Funny Man Tim Allen.
They are forcing themselves.
Drew Carey.
They're forcing themselves to laugh at these.
Party. Hold your breath now.
We got a picture of them.
Like, this is such an unentertaining ride. They're snoozing. Oh god.
Hollywood favorite.
Yeah. You can hear the lack of enthusiasm in their
might be
voice.
No better way to illustrate the reaction the public had to the ride than the on-ride photos. It is no surprise that the ride was received negatively, with guests
no
complaining
shit.
that they had waited a half hour to ride the cheap pop-up book. Superstar Limo was not the only issue. California Adventure as a whole was berated by the general public and critics alike.
But overall,
I mean, understandably.
short at times out here.
I thought it was closed. This is outstanding.
The concept was bad, the execution was
Why would
worse,
anybody want to
and
go to a
Superstar Limo was
California-themed
unforgivable. It is no
theme
surprise
park
that on
in
January 11th,
California?
2002, less than a year after the park opened, Superstar Limo was closed. Management had no
Less
replacement
than a
in mind. They
year.
just realized that guests
It lasted
visiting California
less than
Adventure
a
would be
year.
lot
That is
happier if they
awful.
never experienced the attraction. The building sat abandoned in the Hollywood Pictures backlot for 4 years.
Hey, holy
Rumors
hell.
circulated of various redressings that the ride could undergo. Jim Hill reported that the Imagineers were considering retooling the ride into Goofy's Superstar Limo, where Goofy would drive guests through Hollywood, and the C-list
That would be
celebrities
infinitely
replaced
more
with classic
entertaining.
animated Disney characters.
That would be
To pull this
infinitely
off,
more
Disney
entertaining.
would take over 100 Disney figures that had been placed in Disney stores throughout the United States and move them into the new show scenes. Another idea was to reopen the ride as is, and over the course of a few months, introduce animatronics of the Muppets cast at various points in the ride. These characters would be wearing hard hats and be actively renovating Superstar Limo as guests rode through it.
That
The
would be
Muppets also
funny.
be commenting on
That
how
would be
horrible
funny.
the current version of the ride was.
Yeah,
The
you know,
finished
a
product after the
self-aware
transformation
Muppets ride
Miss
would be
Piggy's
very
Superstar
fun.
Limo. Of course, neither of these ideas happened, and the building continued to sit abandoned.
Well,
it wouldn't be until after Eisner stepped down from CEO in 2005
really, you could just add Muppets to anything and immediately make it 10 times more entertaining. I'm like, the Muppets just have that special effect where you could just make it so much funnier by just doing Thing, but with Muppets. It's just one of those, it's just one of those things that's like a universal constant.
that the Superstar Limo space would receive a new attraction. As the first step in what would become a $1.5 billion expansion and renovation to California Adventure, the new management team constructed the Pixar-themed dark ride, Monsters, Inc. Mike and Sully to the Rescue.
Yeah,
The simple
so they
dark
just-
ride would take guests throughout the events of the first
So they
Monsters,
didn't
Inc.
even
film, and it was
retool the idea. They just completely changed it to fucking Monsters, Inc.
set to open on January 23rd, 2006. But that is not the end of Superstar Limo's story. Oh no. The ride very much lives on, in the absolute worst way possible. Since the Monsters, Inc. dark ride was a quick fix for the park, coming a year before the major expansion, it didn't have the budget to bulldoze the space and start over. Quite the opposite, really. In order to save money, the Imagineers decided to utilize as much of Superstar Limo as possible. This included retrofitting the cutout exterior with door designs, which actually matched the film's intro animation, repurposing the limos into monstrous taxis, reusing the track layout and some of the tunnel sequences, and there was one more thing. Oh yeah, they stripped the C-list celebrity figures and dressed them into various animatronics throughout the ride. Some of these zombatronics are more obvious than others, and the Drew Carey and Jackie Chan figures are especially easy to spot. But don't worry, most, if not every figure in the ride was reused in some way. While the new ride has received mixed reviews, and its inclusion of the previous attraction's assets is unsettling to say the least, it is a far better dark ride.
They just put them all in the hazmat suits and just called it a day.
The memories of the unfortunate park guests that experienced it.
That is funny.
To remember the ride and the other missteps of California Adventure. The story is a good reminder that even a company as big as Disney can still get themselves into financial difficulty, creative gridlock, and even some pretty
thank you for the
wacky
follow,
situations.
Krusty Sock. Welcome to the HQ.
On the next Defunctland. Michael Eisner learns the differences between building a park in Tokyo and building a park in Paris.
Resort to the magic of Disney. And
Michael Eisner looks incredibly uncomfortable.
Come true.
He looks incredibly uncomfortable there. It never ceases to amaze me how bad Michael Eisner is at his job. Like, how, like, I could not even begin to fathom what would make you want to make a California themed theme park in California. And like, I get it, like the initial idea of like, oh, a speedy limo chase from the paparazzi sounded like a good idea. But then the Princess Diana thing happened. As immediately like, oh, we can't do that anymore. We can't do that no more. Yeah, that was, I can definitely see now how that is the worst ride in Disney history. If you think that there's a different ride in Disney history that tops Superstar Limo, let me know down in the comments below. And of course, do not forget to hit like on the video, subscribe to the channel, and ding that bell so you know when I upload, and it helps me out in the algorithm. And as always, I will see you next time at the HQ. Bye-bye.